Jeg elsker arbeidsliv i Norway. Sitt server i Rutfundet sig nog bidra med mina förlora.
Yeah, we should get it. Skans news that we're also in the server. We just look at them as a ferret. But we love them.
Time Ram!
Hello, everyone. Hello, listener. How are you? Daffodil still good? Excellent. Welcome to Time Ram. You know what it is by now. I'm not going to bother telling you again. If you haven't been paying attention in the episodes this far, why should I fuck around? So, tonight we're doing the Scandinavian one with the frog, otherwise known as It Takes You Away from Jodie Whittaker's era. But except, listener, oh boy, it's not in the Jodie Whittaker era. It's in the Paul McGann era, that wonderful new sprawling Paul McGann era that we're inventing.
Yay!
From the Leaky Bible, which may not be the most sensible thing to do, but then the entire podcast is not the most sensible thing to do. With me tonight are fellow insensibles, Mr. Paul Ferry.
Hello!
And Mr. Barry Williams.
Hello.
You both well, chaps?
I'm good.
Yes.
I don't really care.
Commercial time.
They all say, who is Doctor Who?
Do you collect Doctor Who? Do you have Doctor Who items and you don't know that you collect Doctor Who? For all things in the Doctor Who collecting world, tune in to the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast, a Direction Point Network podcast. I am Larry Van Mersbergen, your host, and I have been collecting Doctor Who for 41 years. We have popular features like collection protection and the most outrageous offer, anywhere you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Time Ram, and whatever you do, keep time ramming.
So, no, but are you well, though?
Yeah.
I hear you faking interest.
Well, that's it. I wasn't faking it, was I? I was truthing it.
Yeah.
Let's face it, we already had that conversation when we all came on, because we're actually genuinely nice people in our way.
Go ahead! Time Ram!
I've just realised that the last Eighth Doctor one we had was the Witchfinders, which is actually chronologically the story before this.
Yes, we've got two consecutive stories have become two consecutive stories. I think it's the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
That's a time round first.
This is
And also,
really
I like the way we're just very quietly saving the stories from the Whittaker era.
Mm-hmm. Just bringing them back into the
Yes.
fold.
Bringing them back into, being having a chance of being decent. I mean, they're going to look good anyway with American money for a start.
Mhm.
We know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, this is another one of those stories where fans are still hoping that the original 35mm film lies in the vaults in Fox at the moment, because of course we've only got a 525 line, an NTSC edited copy. But never mind, that's fine. So, without further ado, shall we begin?
Very well.
Excellent.
Did you ever go to a place, I think it was called Norway?
No, I didn't.
Pity. That was one of mine. Won an award, you know. Lovely, crinkly edges.
Nice. Fjord. Yes, we start off in Norway. It's Norway, 2018. Probably actually Wales, but, they're in
It'll be
Norway.
Canada, won't it? Because we're in
Canada, yeah.
Well, yes, the McGann version presumably would be in
McGann,
Canada.
yeah.
Yeah, some remote village in Canada or somewhere.
Yep.
Well, it's not even a village; it's a hut. Basically, it's a hut, really remote hut somewhere.
Out
north.
in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Where's that place that Sam lives? Moose Jaw,
Jaw.
something like that.
Oh,
Moose
right,
Jaw.
yeah.
A more Canadian sounding place you couldn't imagine. Moose Jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
William Shatner should come from Moose Jaw. Maybe William Shatner suffers from Moose Jaw. I don't know.
Yeah.
Should we explain who Sam is, or are we cutting this bit?
Oh, Dr. Samantha Henley, the
The Mobile MD.
yes.
I love that show. We kind of binge watched that entire show on STV. It's on in this country.
I swear I must actually watch it. I must find episodes and watch them.
Yeah.
They're on YouTube. I can see them.
Yeah,
You just spent the entire thing just kind of going, that's Sam.
on TV. Yeah.
From the clips I've seen, he sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean, a bit slower and more relaxed. And more
She's kind of
professional,
gone,
but,
she's gone a little bit more fully Canadian now. She hasn't
Right,
quite got
right.
the
She hasn't got the
Ashington
Ashington
twang.
Let's see if there's any potatoes growing in there.
Mounties.
There's not a lot of Mounties in this story.
No, there
but
aren't.
there's a lot of
No.
forest. Yeah.
There should be some Mounties in the story.
I thought you were just randomly saying Mounties.
Mounties.
Well, I was. Yeah, but never mind. It's all good.
Maybe if the conversation slows down at any point during this, we should just go Mounties
Mounties.
randomly.
Yeah.
Oh, and I bet the head of the Mounties would turn out to be Ulysses. Yes. Sorry, Baz. We'll let you do some actual plot.
Yes.
I was just going to say, I mean, I tried to get some production information for this story, and there's almost nothing out there. It's really hard to find anything about. I do know they made it early. They made it like the second production in the series. They made it immediately after The Woman Who Fell to Earth.
Okay.
Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But of course, it gets shown really late in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure they're actually in Wales, but it's supposedly Norway. And Doctor's there with, 13th Doctor, originally version, with the fam.
Yeah.
Graham and Ryan and
Right. We've got what?
Yeah.
Grace?
We'll have Grace.
Grace
and Chang.
Grace and Chang Li. Well, he was there at the end of the last one, so he's going to stop
Right. So it's Grace and Chang Li. Okay, good.
All right. Somewhere in Canada, in the north.
Yeah.
Canada.
Okay.
Well, it can still be in Norway. It doesn't have to be in Canada. They'll just shoot it in Canada.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense to set it in Canada. I mean, I think, they might set one in Canada if they're making it.
I think it's set in Norway. Well, I mean, it's quite Norwegian in general feel. Why change the names? I mean, if we can shoot it in Wales, they can shoot it in Canada. It's still Norway. Canonical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Canonical Norway.
What?
Canonical Norway.
Canonical
Great
Norway.
band.
Yeah. It's sort of a country band, actually. It's surprising.
Yeah. Incomprehensible. Hey, Canonical Norway.
So they check out, there's a cottage nearby, but there's no smoke coming from the cottage, and they kind of, this sets their spidey sense tingling. And
they're not expected to have electricity.
well, no, it's Norway, they don't have electricity.
This is 2018.
Yeah, why would they?
No better.
Yeah.
I think Chang would be pointing this out. I think he'd be hanging back, kind of going, well, they're connected to the mains. What's the problem here? Hello?
Too remote. There's no mains. No mains.
Oh, there's no mains. Right. They could have solar panels.
It is a very strange conclusion that they leap to, that there must be something wrong, that they don't just think that's just somebody's house. So, I think somebody actually says, Graham or somebody actually says, it's probably just somebody's holiday cottage. And you're thinking, well, it probably just is
probably
somebody's holiday cottage. Why are you going poking around?
Yeah, they decide to investigate and they find a mystery. And it's like, oh, what are the chances?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Heaven.
So they get to this cottage. It's barricaded. All the doors and windows are covered up with boards.
Yeah.
They go to the next step. They break in.
Like you do.
Like you do. And
Have there been any rationale for this yet?
Spidey sense tingling.
Spidey sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Dear.
Yeah.
Who wrote this one?
It was written by Ed Heim.
Right.
I quite enjoyed this episode when I watched it. It's all right.
I don't mind it. Yeah.
I remember quite liking it out of that season.
Yeah.
I think it works better out of context. I'm kind of skipping the end here a bit, but I think it's a kind of, maybe I should wait to the end. I'll leave this to the end.
Let's wait to the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe their reasoning for breaking in is a bit kind of Scooby-Doo. They think they can get a sandwich in there.
They've got food machine. Have you seen the size of the McGann TARDIS? There's food in there. We've got drawers full of gold dust. They've got sandwiches.
Yeah.
Actually, Graham in this episode talks about having a sandwich on him at all times in case he gets hungry.
Oh yeah, he's carrying a sandwich with him.
Yeah.
That's quite sensible.
It is actually.
Yeah.
Unless you're underwater, you get a soggy sarnie.
Yeah, I don't know how you'd eat a sarnie underwater. That'd be quite.
You'd eat it when you got back onto dry land, assuming you did. And if you didn't, you wouldn't give a fuck about the sarnie. You'd be dead.
No.
But yeah, we're digressing here, aren't we?
Lightly.
This is the Doctor. Present time, the High Council of Time Lords. Keeper of the legacy of Rassilon. Defender of the laws of time. Protector of Gallifrey.
So anyway, they go into this cottage. They find sort of toys and shoes all over the place. It's all tres spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Quite nicely sort of lit and directed, I think. And then they find a blind girl hiding upstairs in one of the wardrobes.
Mhm.
The mystery. I mean, there's some people have broken into her house in the middle of nowhere. For some reason,
Yeah.
she's hiding. I can't imagine why.
Yeah, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, but eventually, once they've calmed her down a bit, they get her to tell them that a thing took her dad. The dad's missing, and it's quite nice. They actually get a genuine blind actress to play the part.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice touch. Her mum's dead, and her dad's been missing for the last 4 days.
Mhm.
So, in the original version, at least, Ryan jumps to the conclusion that he did a runner, which upsets this girl. She doesn't like that much. But they come to the conclusion that there's something in the woods. They can hear some noises, some weird noises, and they all get a bit freaked out, and they decide to hide in the house. Feel free to
We're not
stop.
jumping in very much, are we?
So
we missed that really weird scene before they go to the house where the doctor eats soil and goes, "Oh yeah, we're in Norway."
We're in
And you're
Norway,
thinking,
yeah.
I'm sure that it could have been easier. You've never eaten soil before. Why?
Well, she identifies the year as well. She licks the soil and goes, "Oh yes, Norway, 2018."
Yeah.
Anywhere.
I'm sure McGann wouldn't eat the soil.
No, he wouldn't eat to eat the soil.
No.
He'd just stroke a tree or something.
Yeah.
In a sensual manner.
Yeah. Talk to a butterfly.
Yeah.
Yes.
These trees. Yeah. 18.
I still haven't got past the lack of rationale for them going in there in the first place.
Yeah.
Even just a line saying, "Oh, the TARDIS has warned me of something." Just some throwaway thing like that will do the job. Not that, but something like that,
Yeah, there isn't much of a way for it. It's
the motivation's lacking.
Being a bit nosy.
Yeah.
But it's a good job they were nosy, because upstairs, Graham and Ryan, I guess maybe Chang in our version, find a weird mirror, which doesn't show you a reflection. And Doctor appears and stops them from going through it because it's a portal.
Yeah.
So it's very, very dangerous. So eventually, they come to the conclusion that they're going to investigate this mirror. So the Doctor goes through with a companion.
McGann will do that well. It'll be Grace, won't it?
It'll be Grace.
It'll be Grace. She's never going to leave his side ever.
Yeah. So Chang's left looking after Hannah.
And he's doing wisecracks.
Is the girl. Who's doing wisecracks?
Chang Lee's doing wisecracks.
Oh, okay.
It's American television. He's doing wisecracks now.
He's cracking wise.
He's cracking wise. Yes.
Cracking wise.
I'm not sure it is wise to crack.
I think when she sees the mirror and realizes it's like a portal thing, I think Grace would make some kind of pop culture reference to the Twilight Zone, that little girl lost, the one that Poltergeist is ripped off from, which has a kind of portal thing in the wall.
Yeah.
Because that was very 90s, kind of making all sorts of pop culture references,
totally,
in things.
Yeah.
It was acceptable in the 90s.
Did you ever watch The Twilight Zone?
They go through this mirror. They're looking for Hannah's dad, Eric. Eric with a K, I think, because he's Norwegian.
Yeah.
Eric.
So, yes, Hannah, as I say, gets left with Chang Li, who she doesn't like very much, because
he's wisecracking.
He's wisecracking.
Yeah.
He's taken over Ryan's role. He's the one that's kind of said her dad wouldn't come back. He's done a run.
Yeah.
Spoilers, he kind of has. But she doesn't like it much.
I have to say, in the original, it's quite understandable that she doesn't like Ryan, because he's just being a bit of a knob, and he's quite boring.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of Ryan. He's got daddy issues, but yeah, he's an absolute twat to her. He's not really likable at any point.
Yeah. They don't go out of their way to make him a likable character.
No. And again, this is probably one of the best Ryan episodes. He actually has got a bit of character in this, a bit of motivation. It's it's the usual daddy issues that he has in every episode, but apart from that,
unless they suddenly vanish and are forgotten about, which doesn't also happen.
Yeah. It's like Ryan's entire characterization in the time that he's in it is basically what they wrote down when they thought of him. He's got dyspraxia. Graham's his step grandfather. His grandmother's died. That's his character, and you think, and does he develop? Is there anything more? But that's pretty much it for the entire time he's there.
it would be interesting to analyze that in comparison with someone like Tegan, because I was just trying to think of a counter argument just to actually say something.
Yeah.
And go, well, does Tegan develop? I'm not sure she does all that. I mean, I suppose she becomes more accepting of things, but Auntie Vanessa's dead. She was going to be an Australian air hostess, trying to get back to Heathrow, and she's occasionally got a snake in her head.
Yeah, well, she doesn't want to be an air hostess anymore by the end, kind of thing.
True, she doesn't. She doesn't. Yeah, that is long gone.
That. Yeah.
He gets a new haircut.
She does get a new haircut.
Yeah, and the water full of boob tubes. Yeah.
Ryan never wears a boob tube.
No.
You see why this character's famous.
Yeah. If Ryan had suddenly got into boob tubes, he would have been a much more interesting character. He'd been much more rounded, so to speak. Yeah.
Are we heading towards an episode title here? Ryan in a boob tube. I know. It's really.
I suppose if we transpose that onto Chang, we've got something there to talk about Chang. Sort of maybe he's come from a fairly deprived gang-related background.
We don't know much about his family or anything from television, do we?
No.
So there's ways to go there. Yeah, there's stuff to explain.
Maybe he's got similar feelings.
Maybe he's got a boob tube.
Yeah, with gold dust on it.
He's putting on Grace's opera dress. Putting on Grace's opera dress at night when she doesn't think he's around.
They're not going to be doing this in American television in the late 90s. No, they're not. They're going to be doing it on British television now. I mean,
certainly not doing it in American television now. Okay, so we cut to the Doctor with Grace in this dark passage where they meet a guy called Ribbons of the Seven Stomachs.
Oh yeah.
Played in the Whittaker version by the marvellous Kevin Eldon. Great to see him there.
I had an idea for casting for this version. I thought Robert England.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah.
I was going to say Robin Williams.
Yeah. Do you think they'd have been able to afford Robin Williams?
No, we'd have been able to afford Robert England.
Well, possibly. Seeing how cheap some of the films he's been in.
You've already cast Robin Williams in the Canonical Mercy, haven't you?
I'm going to keep casting until the day I die.
See the American Helen Mirren.
Yeah. I could see it as Robert England, though. Yeah.
Yeah, Robert England.
That's good to make up. Yeah. I was thinking Kevin Eldon's like the modern day Dudley Foster.
Dudley Foster.
Oh, he's a villain in the Space Pirates.
Yes, he is.
Kevin.
Kevin, yeah.
I don't know. I thought
that was Dudley Foster.
Just random. So yeah, Ribbons. He's a bit villainous. He's seen Eric, and they persuade him to show him the way. In return for the Sonic, they kind of sell the Sonic to him, which McGann could do as well. That works. Sonic screwdriver back those days. Yes. Yeah. These days it's just a Sonic.
It's just a Sonic to you. It's a Sonic screwdriver to me.
Yeah.
I'm just doing what they say in the script.
I know.
I do like all this stuff in the tunnels. It's quite.
This is.
Quite nice.
I remember watching it and thinking, "Oh, now it's got interesting."
Yeah. It's interestingly shot and lit. Yeah. I mean, a lot of this episode is like all the Whittaker era is kind of the colours are kind of drained out of the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for Norway, you kind of think, well, yeah, I can see what they're doing, a kind of Scandi thing there. Kind of, I can understand that. Yeah. That's when they do it for the next 9 episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some monsters in this place. They run away from some flesh moths. These are moths that eat flesh.
I like these. Yeah.
They're really freaky.
Yeah, quite scary. There's going to be another monster as well. There's another monster which there's photographs of this monster. They actually made up the entire costume, and they had somebody in to play this monster, and it got entirely cut. Not in it at all.
It was all shot, but then just cut for time reasons.
I don't know if they shot it or what, but they certainly he was on set in costume, so I guess they must have done. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it just looked a bit shit.
That could be it. Yeah, maybe.
Like the rock monster in Star Trek 5.
Yeah.
There's a rock monster that was going to pursue Shatner after he's dissed God, but they just thought it looked shit, so they cut the entire bit.
Right.
If that is the case, it really shows the difference between sort of Modern Who and Classic Who. Because in Modern Who they kind of go, "Oh, it looks a bit shit, we won't use it." In Classic Who, you've got the kind of cave monster in in Caves of Androzani and just going, oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
What,
It's not even much. I about the Magma Beast, I keep wondering why bother? Why bother?
What's it for?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one cliffhanger around it, that's it. Yeah.
Or why not just do something like Alien, do a fairly basic kind of costume that's mostly seen in darkness and comes out really fast and is a blur. And then I've told you about my obsession with the Rark, though, haven't I? I want to know what the Rark looked like from Mind Warp.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You only get it in, kind of this occasional blurred shot where it's having to go at Perry, like every monster in that era. And there are no clear photos. I've never seen a photo of the Rark. I've never seen a photo of the Rark. Have you? No.
No.
Do you care? No.
If you've got a photo of the Rock, listener,
if you
send
got
it
a photo of the
Send
Rock,
it in.
listener,
We've got the rest of us don't want it. But yeah.
put it on my Twitter. I want to see a photo of the Rock.
There you go.
Let's see the reach we have here. Let's see the power there is in Time Ram.
yes.
Yeah, well, I can think of that they did cut. It's the one from Funny in Space on the Ogon planet, isn't there? Where there's like one shot of it, and they're
Oh yeah, blurb.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bollock monster.
The bollock monster. Yeah. It looks very sad in the one behind the scenes photo there is of it.
Well, I'd be sad.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
You would if you looked like a bag of bollocks.
You can't get a date, It looks like a bag of bollocks.
You probably can, just with another bollock monster. What Grant? Oh, that's so romantic. Yeah, I was peckish on the way. No, I'm not.
Imagine them in the restaurant there together now,
Yeah. Imagine the restaurant full of them. That's great.
Can I interest you in some fried ogon?
You sure you look a bit sad?
Would you like a waffle in mint?
I don't know whether we actually have more interest in the one frame bollock monster from Frontier in Space than we do in the Whittaker episode. We're men of a certain age. Clearly a certain mentality. Imagine if the bollock monster in Arato met, though. That'd be good.
Yeah.
They'd get on.
They'd impregnate, didn't they? Yeah.
They might, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Over 1,000 years.
Yeah, that's from the book, isn't it? I wonder if the bollock monster can exude pseudopods.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. Right, let's move on.
Okay, we don't know enough about it. That's fine.
We don't know enough about it now, but the Rock is yet more mysterious.
Yes. The Rock.
The Rock. Yeah.
Who knows what his sex life's like?
This is the Doctor. Present by the High Council of Keeper of the Legacy of Rassilon. Defender of the laws of time. Protector of Gallifrey.
Back in Norway.
Yes.
Is it as interesting as what we've been talking about?
I doubt it.
Oh, let's try. Give it a go. We can always pop Meglos in there. This is Time Ram. We can do what we want.
We can actually. Yeah, well, Chang Lee's still there with Hannah, who doesn't like him.
And Meglos.
And Meglos, if you like. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Ranting about Zolfathura.
What he does find is this so-called monster that she's been hiding from is just some loudspeakers playing spooky noises.
Mm-hmm.
The woods. So immediately we start to sense that her dad maybe hasn't quite been on the up with her.
Mm-hmm.
I bet in the 90s it would be playing from a mini disc player.
Yeah.
It's like the X-Files was full of fucking mini disc players. Were they sponsored by mini disc players or something?
Yeah.
They were quite a futuristic seeming format, weren't they?
Yeah. They lasted about 5 years.
Oh, yeah. And no one has a clue how to play them now.
No.
No.
Stare at them and hope they produce sound.
You might as well have a wax disc, give you a better chance.
Yeah.
A wax cylinder. Well, a wax cylinder.
Thank God. Right.
I've got a mini disc player. And
I thought you were saying
a wax cylinder.
No, mini disc player, and I've still got mini discs wrapped in the original wrapping that I've never used, that I've never recorded anything on, because it got outdated before I used my entire box of mini discs.
We should do a production sourced on mini disc then. In audio, the mini disc audio play.
Mm-hmm.
Only available on mini disc.
Yeah. Can you listen to it? You can't.
Other people release stuff on vinyl.
Yeah, I've always actually fancied releasing something only on compact cassette.
So have I, actually.
Or video disc.
Video disc, 8-track, and mini disc.
Yeah.
All the formats of now.
Yes.
Come and join
Next week, V2000.
Yes.
Soon available on Meet Betamax.
Mm-hmm.
That sounded like you said Meet Betamax there.
Meet Betamax. I stumbled on what I was saying.
Some weird sort of flesh format.
He's pissed.
Wine, isn't it? And what were we talking about? Okay, yes. So
yeah, boomboxes around the. There'd be boomboxes around. There'd be 90s.
Yeah, boomboxes.
Yeah. It's amazing they haven't been rained on. They stopped working actually, but no, they're all still down.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Or eaten by a sheep.
A sheep, yeah, or a bear, maybe. I don't know.
Do they have bears in Norway?
I don't know. What have they got in Norway? Moose.
Norwegians.
No, not moose. What have they got?
Moose.
Reindeer.
Could be eaten by a Norwegian.
Yeah.
Actually, he does mention bears. Didn't he say something about because there's bear traps?
He does mention bears.
That's why we got bear traps, and he says
maybe bears.
because there's
I'm
bears.
lamentably ignorant about the states of the Earth sign population of Norway.
Yeah. They might have bears.
I mean, we did have bears here at one time.
Once upon a time.
It could be sand, you sand beast. Right. Thought I've dragged Meglos into it. I'm going to keep going.
Moving swiftly on. Chang Li comes back in to tell Hannah, and she bonks him over the head. Or she slams the door on him or something. I wasn't really watching. And then she goes through the portal. She wants to find her dad. So so he's forced to follow her eventually. Anyway, this is kind of intercut with more scenes with the other guys. They're in this passage. It's called an Aunty Zone, and it's a bit dangerous with these moths. Wibbins kind of lets them down a little bit. He kind of betrays them. He's not a nice guy. And then typically he gets killed by moths. It's like there's sort of moral judgment on it.
Does McGann's doctor maybe try and see the best of him, and Grace is in the background going, "No, he's a shyster. Seriously, don't trust this guy. He's called Wibbins." Yeah,
Ribbons. He's called Ribbons. Ribbons in the stomach. That's not a nice name. So he doesn't last very long. He's eaten by moths. And then the others they run from the moths until they eventually reach another portal. It's sort of like another mirror, and then they burst into this other world, this mirror world, which is it's set in the same cottage.
Yes.
But what they did do for this, which is quite a nice little touch, is every single shot in this world is actually reversed or flipped, rather.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice little touch. It's quite subtle. But all the actors are flipped, everything's flipped, every single thing. And they actually put a bit of colour in the picture. It actually looks nicer than Norway. It looks like a happier place.
I just like the phrase nicer than Norway.
Nicer than Norway. Is it anywhere nicer than Norway? Probably.
Nicer than Norway.
I don't know. Don't think
Sweden. Sweden's probably nice.
Yeah, brought to you by the Swedish tourist board. Sweden.
yeah.
Nicer than
Norway.
But not as good as Finland.
Those Finns. No, I think I do.
About what?
Fish.
I just think we shouldn't give out false information on Time Ram. This is important. People listen to this. You can't just say that they know about stuff. Like what? Come on, prove it. What stuff? Engineering? I don't think so.
I can tell you, but I'd have to kill you.
Okay. Are you working for the Finn? Sorry, listener, this man does not represent me.
Apologies to any listeners in Norway, Sweden, or Finland.
Yeah. You tell us which one's better.
Well, they're all better than the UK. So I mean, that's...
Yes, they're all better. I mean, we're just not a country anymore. We're just a seething cesspit of horror.
Yes,
covered and stained with urine and vomit.
In fact, that is factually correct. Yeah.
That's our tourist board's phrase.
Yeah. Trippers child. Also stained with urine and vomit. Due to his great age and his life.
Thank you, Doctor.
Right, where was it?
We haven't McGann this very much, have we? Have we McGann this much? I mean, we put him in it, but
Yeah, I haven't really changed anything, have we?
Yeah.
It's kind of-
well, there's nothing so far that leaps out as needing to be changed.
Hmm.
Well, Doctor
Yeah.
doesn't do much, so there's not much to change.
Well, they're in this mirror world where they find Eric, and Eric's, well, he won't go home. He's it's with Trina, his wife Trina, Hannah's dead mum. And so he's kind of, he's left his
Basically
daughter.
run off and abandoned his blind daughter, hasn't he? That's
He's
what
gone
he's
off and abandoned his blind daughter to be with his dead wife.
Yeah.
And I mean, speaking as a parent, I was like, what the hell? And he just
It's
goes,
really
"It's been
shit."
4 days.
Speaking as a non-parent, I was, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
kind of, what?
It's an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
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 And he won't go back. He's like, oh, no, I should be all right. And
Yeah.
you've left her to starve to death
Indeed.
on her own in this cottage
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere.
Indeed.
And you've told her there are monsters after her.
Yeah.
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 And just disappeared without explanation.
Yeah.
I don't understand Eric. And he doesn't really, there's not really any consequences for Eric. It kind of should be.
No, indeed.
No. Maybe a McGann would slap him or something. Yeah.
McGann would have a
There we
rant,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get all romantic about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or romantic poet about it, you know, and just kind of go, no.
Byron-esque.
So would Grace, actually.
Yeah. Mhm.
Grace would get all American on his ass and start saying, okay, this would be like, you know, a writ back home.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would be time in jail, dude.
Yeah. And then confusingly, out the back, they find Grace. Graham's Grace.
Well, this will be Brian who nicked Grace's sofa.
Is he dead?
Yes.
Is he dead?
He is now, yes.
I thought he was just some terrible
No.
boyfriend that slugged
Shut
off.
up. He's dead. Or find another way around this problem. It could be a macro.
Yeah, well, yeah, I had an idea because I was thinking it's going to be somebody she cares about.
Yeah.
So I was thinking we introduce Grace's mother, her late mother.
Okay.
You know,
Could she be
we
called
could bring
Grace?
in some sort of.
in that
No,
American
she could
way
be,
that, you
yeah.
know,
Grace,
Mhm.
Grace
sometimes do
Senior.
that.
She
Grace
could be
Senior.
played by some sort of well-known older actress of yesteryear or something, you know,
Joan
and
Collins.
just have this character.
Yeah.
Did we have her in the other week?
Probably. I've got a very limited repertoire of American actors. here.
Karen Seymour. She's not really American, I suppose.
Yeah.
Who's Dr. Quinn medicine woman? Who was that? Oh, Jane Seymour.
She's British.
Yeah, she's British
Oh,
as
yes.
well.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to name American actresses.
Work over there.
Name 2 British.
Grace Lee Whitney.
Grace Lee
Yeah.
Grace
Whitney.
Lee Whitney.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you are, because Philip Siegel's carefully going for the Star Trek fans as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And giving a bit of an actual acting part to do.
Uh-huh.
Grace Lee Whitney.
Grace Lee Whitney. Okay.
Yeah.
Could she
Why
act?
not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Grace Senior is out there. Grace is delighted to see her.
By somebody called Grace.
Paul Grace. Yeah, it's fantastic.
There's Grace
Works.
and Grace.
Grace.
And
Grace and
one of the
Grace.
Graces is played by Grace.
And Maglos.
Grace Senior drops a bit of information that she likes frogs,
Mhm.
which is I don't know. Is that per? I don't know. It might be. It's not really explained.
No.
And they have a bit of conversation about whether she's real. She points out that other Grace is wearing a necklace. This is getting confusing.
Dr. Grace.
Dr. Grace is wearing a necklace. They have a sort of lengthy conversation about it. Actually, probably in America. So this was made as a 50-minute episode. So if I was going to cut it down to 45 minutes, I might snip out something.
Okay, we can lose 5 minutes of this then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the Doctor that realizes this world is dangerous. It's a trap, basically.
He'd do that very well. I could see McGann rushing in all breathless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have this
Gabbling
scene. We have this in the original version. It's between the Doctor and Yaz. We have this scene where the Doctor tells the story of her granny, who told her about the Solitract, and this is a sort of children's story on Gallifrey, apparently, where the Solitract was exiled from our universe into another plane, so our universe would work. When the Solitract's present in our universe, nothing works.
I bet the Solitract's going to be Ulysses, isn't it? I just have a thought. Actually, instead of Grace meeting Grace Senior, played by Grace Lee Whitney, could it be the Doctor meeting Baruza?
Oh,
well, I thought he should be the frog.
Oh, I think the frog's Ulysses. Maybe
No, the
Baruza.
frog's the solid
frog
jack.
can't be used
The frog's the
because
solid jack. Let's not
exposed.
confuse.
Yeah.
Let's not confuse the frog.
Yeah, but should the solid track not appear as somebody to encourage the Doctor to stay there, which would be his father, rather than a fucking frog?
So
Yeah,
actually,
okay.
Ulysses is appearing as an actor.
As William Shatner.
Yes.
Shatner, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
you'd do that. If you'd contracted Shatner to make a number of guest appearances, you're damn well going to use them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just trying to get some kind of logic into it.
Yeah.
You can start out as a frog and then turn into Shatner. And when McGann kisses the frog,
McGann kisses a frog who turns
McGann
into
kisses the frog and it turns into William Shatner. In no other TV show do you get this.
Yeah.
So you got McGann kissing Shatner.
For reasons.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There's a certain part of the audience that would really enjoy that.
Yes.
All right.
Is it all right to kiss William Shatner?
Well, he doesn't know it's William Shatner. He's kissing a frog as far as he knows. It's perfectly.
A frog. Where's your frog? Just bring in Ulysses. Bring in Ulysses at the start.
Ask me why William Shatner does things. I don't know why William Shatner does things.
Doesn't turn into a frog till later.
Well, all right. Yeah, we'll crack on then.
So yeah, the Doctor realizes that the solid tract is a conscious universe, and that's basically where they are. It's made a doorway into our universe.
Mhm.
So yeah, this place is a
I
trap.
like all this. I like the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the problem that they've got is they can't persuade people to leave because their loved ones are there. They want to stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, back in the Aunty Zone, we've got Chang Li and Hannah running from the moths, chasing them down, and eventually they run through the
Meglos,
portal.
don't forget Meglos is with them.
What?
Meglos is with them, don't forget.
Meglos is with them.
Yeah, they're carrying him. They're using it to swat wasps. Moths, rather, because he's spiny.
It's funny. You got the moths
Yeah.
sort of pinned on the spines.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't hand me! I am Meglos! All that going on,
Mm-hmm. It's all going on.
Wouldn't it be good if the Aunty Zone was just a kind of corridor full of aunties, kind of going, oh, any love has any crowd. No,
Kinky bracket type.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a kids.
Yeah, you're going to battle your way through all these aunties going, oh, yes.
Oh, he's got
Have a toffee.
I'm going to sit and I put my
Just
teeth in.
thought.
Episode now immeasurably better in the enschemement. I've decided this is somewhere.
Yeah, so what happens is these moths are chasing them down. Hannah comes through the portal, which then closes behind her. So poor old Chang is kind of stuck in there. But yeah, Hannah's in the solid track now. And she's meeting her mum there, but she doesn't recognize her at all. You're not my mother.
Yeah.
And then things start to go a bit afterglow in the solid track. So there's too many people in there.
Yeah.
Is the kind of the TARDIS problem really in this series.
Mhm.
So the entire universe is collapsing. But Trina and Grace Senior don't want them to leave. They're kind of trying to persuade them to stay. They're kind of not.
Yeah.
And in the original version, this is what Yaz really kicks off. Yaz is like, "No, we have to go," and she gets ejected straight away. Gone.
Is that Grace then?
Not really, because
Yeah, she wants to stay, doesn't she? Because she wants to stay with
Grace. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, so it's not Grace Senior, is it? It's kind of
Grace Senior, with her mother.
Oh, but I thought, haven't we changed that to Baruza?
Baruza or Ulysses, one of them.
Well, I thought Ulysses was the frog.
No, Ulysses is dead. So has he met Baruza?
We don't
Why
need
did he meet
Ulysses
Baruza?
and Baruza, do we?
No, he's met Ulysses.
All right. He's met Ulysses. Okay, so he met Ulysses rather than Baruza. Got it. Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Baruza isn't in this one.
Well, he's done the introduction, presumably. He's kind of.
Who was Shatner? Shatner was
Ulysses.
Right.
Charles Dance
Shatner
was
was
Baruza.
Ulysses. Yeah. So
Charles
that's
Dance
who
was
he
Baruza,
meets
yeah.
as a
They're
frog.
in his library at the start. With his
No, we haven't got to
line
the frog
going,
yet. This is who he meets instead of Grace meeting Grace Lee Whitney as Grace's mother, Grace Senior.
Is it? All right.
Yeah.
I was confused. I thought that was still there, and I thought
Were you?
Ulysses
Yeah.
was the frog. Oh,
We
well.
haven't got to the frog yet.
No frog. No,
No one's the frog.
no, it's just too many Graces. So we kind of chucked them.
Too many.
Yeah.
There we go. There's the title.
Too many Graces.
You could call it Norwegian wooden.
No, yeah, that would also work. Yeah. Well, yeah, Hannah gets ejected definitely because she rejects her
Right.
mother, so
Okay.
she gets chucked out through the portal. Gone.
Just playing Hannah. Do we have anyone in mind for playing Hannah? Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yeah, it could be someone of that sort of.
Kind of
era.
guest starring
Yeah,
youth woman.
youth woman, Mila Kunis
Yeah.
or someone.
Youth woman.
Mila Kunis, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, Mila Kunis.
Yeah. So yeah, we get this is quite a lengthy scene, I guess. The kind of in the original version, it's the Doctor trying to persuade Graham to reject Grace, which he won't.
This is more powerful then. This is the Doctor rejecting his father. This is the Doctor rejecting Ulysses, the very thing he's been searching for all the way through.
Yeah, well,
that's great then.
Well, not yet, because he won't. Basically, Graham doesn't reject Grace until she shows no concern for the fact that Ryan's stuck out there. And then he gets it sort of chucked out. And then we carry on with this. The Doctor now has to persuade Eric to reject Trina, which he won't do because he's an absolute tool.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
And eventually, the way the Doctor gets it to work is she gets Trina to reject Eric, and then he gets kicked out. So, he's not. Basically, she says, "Look, you don't want Eric, you want me. I've got the universe in me. I've been all over the place. You want me to stay."
So if the Doctor's with Ulysses, Grace gets to do this, which is really good for her. Kind of makes a lot of sense, that he's doing the human stuff, and we're getting backstory with the Doctor.
Except then it's the Doctor at the end on her own, or on his own.
Well, we'll find a way around that.
Go on in.
A thing happens.
Ah, right.
Meglos uses a bit of dodecahedron energy and interferes at that point because he's sick of being waved at death moths, which kind of like sends shockwaves out and fucks everything up and ejects Grace, leaving the Doctor alone.
And it's resolved the end.
Yeah, Eric does kind of get to the point where you think he can't actually be any worse a father, and then he's kind of.
Then he proves you wrong.
You're just going, your daughter's out there, being nibbled to death by moths, and you're still sticking with it in this universe.
Yeah.
She's not sympathetic at all.
It's not good. If anyone should have been eaten by moths, it was Eric, really.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So yes, so it goes a bit weird now. We're in a kind of white out universe, and a talking frog turns up.
Yeah.
So which is the point where the episode kind of lost me a little bit.
Funny enough, I think it was the point where it kind of gained me the first time around. Like I just went, "Oh, that's proper Doctor Who. That's just completely bonkers."
Yeah.
Now, I think of all the kind of major science fiction genres, Doctor Who can go bonkers the best. The mind robber.
They're doing this bit where they're trying to be quite poignant. I mean, the Doctor wants the frog wants the Doctor to stay forever, but the world's still not stable enough. And the Doctor has to persuade the frog, "Look, this isn't good for any of us. You've got to let me go." And it's played as being quite sad, and it's kind of, but at the same time, it's a talking frog, and I can't get past that.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm not moved.
Yeah. Plus, also the Doctor's kind of completely, she in the original is being really sympathetic towards it, and you're thinking, it has just sort of threatened the universe and is kind of enabling a man to leave his daughter to be, starved to death in the real universe. You're doing all that, but you're a lovely thing.
It's really not.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
No. Yeah.
McGann will probably be stronger in his condemnation here.
Yeah.
I would guess.
Well, I suppose if you got McGann there, you could do one final scene with Ulysses the frog.
Ulysses the frog, yeah.
Yeah, get some meaningful stuff about how he doesn't want to go, but he has to go. I don't know. Yeah.
Shatner would do that well.
It's not the real Ulysses. He says, yes, the real Ulysses would send them away. Yeah.
Pity we didn't get this for the 6th Doctor. He could have done the whole, nobody wants you, nobody needs you, nobody cares.
Having said that, if we got the 6th Doctor, the animatronic frog would not be fantastic.
No.
Yeah,
it would be like a glove puppet, doesn't it?
Yeah, it'd be like a bandrel.
Yeah.
It'd be like Gabriel the Toad from Bagpuss.
It'd be like Gabriel the Toad from Bagpuss. That's exactly what it would be like, yes.
The little banjo.
So Shatner turns into the frog then?
Yeah.
With a little banjo.
With a little banjo.
Excellent.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. They start singing.
He starts singing Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Well, singing.
Packed my bags. Last night, pre-flight. 0 hour. 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high.
So yeah, finally the Doctor gets chucked out, and they're back. They're all back in the Aunty Zone. The fam's all there, and they run back through the first portal into our
I
universe.
just keep seeing Paul's version of the Aunty Zone now. I'm sorry.
Oh, look at who goes!
Oh, have a cup of tea.
Oh, my angina.
Look at my varicose veins.
Isn't he handsome? Isn't he dashing?
Crown.
Oh, he's got 2 hearts. And him half even on his mother's side.
What else has he got 2 of?
Hey.
Oh, Burma.
Jeez.
Mounties. So yeah, they run back through the portal. They're back into our universe. That's it, basically.
That's it.
Yeah. Graham was a bit sad in the original. You know, he's kind of staring off into space a bit. So you know, he's a bit sad.
Oh, this would be the Doctor.
This would be the Doctor staring off into space. Wistful,
romantic looking and bewinged.
Yeah. Wistful looks.
I didn't find him. I thought I'd found him.
Yeah,
but it was Frog.
Eric's there.
That shit, man.
Yeah.
Let's go back into my massive TARDIS.
Eric's there, the absolute knob. He's there. He's finally kind of seen the light. He says he's going to take Hannah back to Oslo, where they lived before. So she doesn't have to live in the woods anymore. She's kind of.
They trust him, considering. I mean, he's got form.
At least in Oslo. At least in Oslo, she's got internet access. That's the main thing. She's like, yes, Wi-Fi.
She gets to Oslo.
Yeah. Maybe Eric says, well, I was going to kind of look after my daughter and take her back to Oslo, but somebody gave me these magic beans.
Yeah.
Hannah turns out she likes Ryan now. She likes Chang Li now.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a turnaround. Yeah, got used to his wisecrack. That's basically the only evidence we have, really. It's just kind of it's happened somewhere along the line. She likes him now.
Yeah.
They all returns to the TARDIS, and we get the scene which is the kind of the growth scene in the original version for Ryan. He kind of calls Graham granddad now. He says, "Yeah, I did that," and you're like, "Okay, that was it."
They call Grace granddad, and everyone's going, "Why? What are you doing that for? Stop it! Stop it, Chang Li."
He calls her Doctor.
Yeah, Doctor.
Maybe Grace asks the Doctor about Ulysses. Who is Ulysses? And he's like,
Never mind about all that. These shoes fit perfectly. Come on. Slim flams it off, and then and Grace and Chang exchange a look.
And then the rapping lips start up.
Then the rapping lips start on the time rotor. Yeah. The artist of the week.
Some like Norwegian metal band.
Gnorg.
What was the name of it? Ironic Norway or something? I can't remember what it was now.
Oh yes. Canonical Norway.
Canonical Norway.
Canonical Norway start playing over the rapping lips and the times. Excellent, and they all freeze frame laughing.
Explainment.
So, is it better or worse? I think it might be better.
I think it could potentially be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think that some of the beats are more powerful, like the Doctor talking to his father, who we've been searching for all the way through. We know that he's on a quest to find him. Then realizing it isn't him and rejecting him. That's really quite good. And I think both McGann and Shatner would play that superbly.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, it is nice to see Sharon Clark turn up again as Grace. Having been criminally underused. Yeah,
she's always good. She's very warm and affable. It's a shame she wasn't part of the team actually, but I think if you ditched Ryan and put that married couple in and had them as a marriage, they're kind of like the older version, the more experienced, the more jaded version of Amy and Rory.
Yeah.
It's
different, isn't it? It's just something a bit different. Really good. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed this episode. I watched it again. I wasn't particularly enthused about watching it again, but when I watched it, I quite enjoyed it. It is one of the better episodes from that season. I think it works.
Yes.
It works slightly better out of context to my mind, because it's kind of a quiet little character piece. There's not a lot of people in it. There's no real villain, particularly. And part of the problem is that this season is replete with episodes that are quite little character pieces for no proper villain. So
it's a small scale story. I mean, the stakes are small. It's
very
got some very nice visuals.
Yeah,
it's nicely shot.
In the location stuff and the interior stuff, it's all very nice, and the anti-Plius.
I think, as I've said on one of the episodes before, I think they willfully go for these small casts in this season. And this is a story in which the small cast works. It doesn't need a big cast. All it needs is these people. Other stories, they have a small cast in the story that you think, really, this could do with a bigger cast, like the last episode of that season. But this is one where it works. So so I think it definitely.
Was that simply down to budget?
I don't know. It seems to be an artistic decision, and it's just a very odd artistic decision. A lot of the artistic decisions are odd.
Very odd. Yeah. There's some very odd ones in that here.
Yeah. Just the fact the whole season's so washed out. I mean, I in this episode, it makes sense. You think, did everyone just look at this episode and say, "Oh, I'll do that again"? I don't know.
Indeed. So basically, the McGann version we think would have been better, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we've been having fun with it, but I think, if it was like if they'd done it in that era and taken it seriously, it probably would have looked amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder how much it would have been compromised for the American market, though. I wonder how much it might have been, made bigger scale or made more obviously explicable.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But
I think cutting 5 minutes from it would benefit. It's kind of episodes at 50 minutes is an odd length for a Doctor Who.
It is.
They possibly, I mean, we're putting them, because we've got no kind of order of episodes and things from McGann. We're just kind of putting them in the order we get them. But this, I think they'd possibly have pushed further back in the season. It's a late season story for me. Especially if you're talking an American 22 episode season.
I was about to say, how long is this season? It would have been, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have Shatner in every episode. I think they kind of wheel him out occasionally.
Oh, no. He'd be special. They wouldn't be able to afford him for every episode.
No.
Yeah.
He's worth about 65 million as Shatner.
Is he?
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, he had a piece of Star Trek, didn't he? Back in the day, he was the lead, so he had a piece.
Was he in Star Trek? Oh, right, okay, I must have missed that.
Well, not in this universe, obviously.
Oh, right, okay.
It was actually called William Shatner's The Twilight Zone, and he appeared at the beginning of every episode and did a little homily. Shall I spin the numbers then? Here we go. Doctor 10.
10.
Hello.
10.
Hello.
Story 59.
59, dude. Okay.
59.
That'll be a Pertwee.
Is it a bit?
That will be.
Nick Trout?
No, it'll be a Pertwee. 59. Okay, so we have David Tennant starring in The Demons.
Ooh.
I like that immediately.
Yeah.
I just watched The Demons.
I can imagine that.
I can imagine that straight away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, join us next time for David Tennant in The Demons. What an interesting combination. And one that all three of us are instantly going, we can see potential here. Which is a relief after this episode. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Rupert Booth. That has been Barry Williams. And that over there is Paul Ferry.
Bye-bye.
We'd like to thank Ben Jones for our music. We're on Twitter. I'm at Rupert Booth. Baz is at Baz Time Ram, and Paul is at Paul Ferry 8. We're on Patreon, where too few people are giving us money, so, crack on, listener. There's also a website, timeram.com. Timeram.com. Now, fuck off.
Commercial time.
The vervoids are probably the best dirty joke in Doctor Who.
They're hermaphroditic plants.
A lot of plants are.
So there you go. It's based on science.
No, they'll ship anything.
There are probably 11 and handle shippers out there. You just have to drill a hole where his mouth is, and you're all set.
You know he needs the room. I've seen it in pictures.
I'm not saying you're not a fan. I'm saying you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Doctor Who gives a drunken Doctor Who podcast for the end times.
Direction point! Direction point!
A Doctor Who podcast network.
Tingling!